Hi, my beautiful souls. Welcome back to Twin Flames Defined. Today, I wanted to talk about the spiritual warfare that is going on and why we don't want to spend time and energy in fear of it, but we do want to be aware of it. It's really super important to stay in our power, but to also recognize what's in the reality, right? To recognize and understand what's going on. And that is a double-edged sword, right? It's a really thin line that you have to straddle when you're a twin flame of understanding and knowing what karmics are doing, or even like there can be complete strangers that you don't even know, right? That the other side, right, that are against the mission of what twin flames are all about, which we're about raising the vibration of the planet to a higher state of love and frequency, right? We're in the business of love, okay? And there's another side, another energy force, right, that is in the business of counteracting that. And they're in the business of fear and depression and scarcity and lack and hate and crime and all these things, okay? And we're opposing that. And so just like we have been sent, right, with this life mission to do our job, there have been people sent on the opposing side to do their job to oppose us, to be in defense of what we're doing, right? And to keep us down. Most of us know this energy. It comes through and lives within the hosts of karmics, okay? So we see it, right, in our karmics being not only like lying about us, scheming against us, stealing money from us, hiring people to kill us, hiring people to stalk us, right? Doing awful, horrible, bad things, doing spells, doing hexes, right? All this is called, all the things that they're doing, that it does affect the reality of this world, but that they're trying to do energetically, right? Trying to manifest the separation between twins to stay and keep them apart, right? All that is called spiritual warfare. And I wanted to talk about spiritual warfare because I think it's really, really important for us to understand the truth, right? Just because in this illusion of a world, the 3D realm is the illusion. We call it the illusion realm, right? Because a lot of it is the illusion. We live based off of illusion, right? In this realm, just because you can't go to the cops and you can't go to the justice system in the 3D and say, this person's doing spell work on me, right? Doesn't mean that it's not happening, that it isn't affecting you. But I want to talk about why, like love or God or spirit or Buddha or whatever you want to call that energy, okay? You get to name it, whatever you want to name it, but we all know that it exists, that we came from it, we were created from it, whatever you want to call that. Doesn't matter. The universe, okay? Go ahead. But that energy, okay? Why does that energy allow, especially this late in the game, the spiritual warfare to take place? And I wanted to talk about that a little bit because we can't be ignorant to the fact that it's happening. We have to be doing things on our end to be so out of touch of that energy that it's not monopolizing our life. It's not affecting our life in negative ways, right? But sometimes, even me, I'm like super squeaky clean, right? Like I am probably the most spiritual person I know. I make sure that my space is clean. I make sure that I am energetically clean. My karma's clean. I make sure that the people that I surround myself with are clean, right? Like even with all of that, some little things can trickle and sneak in, right? And it makes you wonder. Even when I'm like in super deep connection with source, spirit, love, whatever you want to call that, and I ask like, oh, this spiritual warfare is coming in again, right? This hex and spell that my twin flames partner, right, put on me worked. So what's going on with it, right? And every single time I get the same reply. And so I wanted to share that with you guys because I know that everybody's on their different paths of like their gifts, right? And everybody has different versions of gifts in this lifetime. And so some twins might not have that deep-seated connection. I advise you to spend time in creating and strengthening that connection with source, okay? With spirit. That's really, really important for this journey. But if you don't have like this clear communication where you can, have a back and forth conversation where you can hear lots of stuff yet, then definitely that's what I'm here for, is to kind of relay some of Spirit's message and love's messages to us, right? And so one of the things that Spirit keeps saying to me personally, like when I'm like, oh gosh, this thing came through, and yeah, it doesn't feel good. It's not great. Usually isn't quick and done with, right? But because like I said, I'm so protected, right? Not only in this realm, but in the spiritual realm as well. And so, but when something sneaks in and gets in, like a hex or a spell or whatever, I always ask, like, why did this get through? How did we kind of drop the ball? It almost felt like our team dropped the ball and we let this one slide in, right? And the response that I keep getting and I keep receiving, and so I wanted to share this message with you so that not only that you don't tap into the fear and that you don't get scared, and because I know it can be scary, like when people are doing hexes and spells constantly on you, it can be disturbing, right? Like it can make you feel like, gosh, sometimes you wonder, like all the bad things, you're like, what is even real in this world anymore? But I get the same response from Spirit, Source, Love every single time. And every single time it's, don't worry, right? Because we have literally, your higher self and me and the divine have literally looked down on the big picture, okay? We've looked down at the big picture and we have seen that, yes, this thing, which doesn't feel good to you in the moment, right? In this human experience, has gotten in, and it seems like a bad thing, right? This pebble of bad stuff that this, hex, this spell, whatever it is, right? Feels like negative and doesn't feel good. But at the grand scheme of things, the reason why we let it in, the reason why we made that executive decision, because you're protected, we're protecting you, right? We've got your back. You're out there on the battlefield, but we are out there sniping everybody out around you, right? And the reason why we made that executive decision is because it was going to benefit you and your twin in some way, right? It was going to make you stronger. It was going to make you, once you get to union, be able to sustain that at a higher rate, because you're going to be able to remember these tower moments, right? Your twin's going to remember the tower moments, right? And just like how we know we can't appreciate the light without the dark, that's exactly it, right? We have to let some of that dark in, right? We have to go through like the dark night of the soul. We have to go through that. We have to experience that so that when we do get to this other version of the life purpose, this other type of work within this plan that we've chosen, right? When we get to that next level, we will have not only the passion, but the strength, the awareness. We will be so much stronger in so many different facets to remember all that we've been through, right? We'll remember all the people that lied to us about our twin, right? We'll remember all the people that tried to keep us apart. And so we'll know that we can't just trust anyone, right? We know that sometimes people have to get hurt or harmed or fall down or scrape their knees so that they can get up and climb, right? Climb that to the next level. They can't get there if everything's just hunky-dory, because they're not going to jump as far. They're not going to leap as far. They're not going to have the strength that comes with having a little dirt on your hands and your knees, okay? And so, yeah, the karmics, some of their hexes and their spells and their nasty stuff is filtering in at this time, okay? And I just want you to have a safe mind in your faith, okay? In your soul and in whatever you call that creative energy that brought us here, right? I want you to have that faith and that strong knowing that, first off, you don't need to worry about it, but that it only came through because it made you better some way. It made you stronger, it made you and your twin better for this earth, and made you closer to your goal and your life purpose. Okay, I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget, love yourself. Bye.